All right, Steve, thanks. The high winds are already kicking up the surf on beaches up and down the coast.
Treasure Coast reporter John Shaman live for us in Fort Pierce tonight, where that could become a very expensive problem. John?
Shannon Kelly, you got that right. I'm standing here at Jetty Park in Fort Pierce. This area right here, just a year ago, underwent a $7.5 million beach renourishment. And with these high winds and rough seas, well, it could become a very expensive problem. If you're visiting from Canada to escape the cold, the wind is no bother.
By our standards, this is like, it doesn't get much better.
Even as a local, it's a minor inconvenience.
The sandblasting on the body is a little tough.
But as conditions worsened, lifeguard towers at Bathtub Beach and Stewart were moved by crane away from the water onto the dunes.
We've had some erosion last week, so with the increased surf coming, we weren't going to chance it.
The wind getting so bad in Juneau, families were forced to leave the beach, and it's not letting up. Over the next 48 hours, sand up and down our coast will take a hit.
We're constantly facing erosion problems along our beaches.
Head of St. Lucie County Coastal Management Services, Glenn Henderson, says that problem is compounded after the county got word the federal government will not offer its usual support to fund beach renourishment next season.
We have to do an emergency project probably later this year, and it will cost at least $2.5 million to do just essentially a Band-Aid.
That money may come from higher taxes. Some argue, why spend money to keep putting out sand that eventually gets washed away?
If we don't do anything, then buildings and roads and parks and important infrastructure along the entire island could fall into the sea.
And visitors often say this is why they come.
Great place.
Now, right now, maybe you can see on our little wind gauge here, 10, 12 miles an hour, but we have seen wind gusts up near 30 miles an hour. Now, back to the erosion situation here in St. Lucie County. If the federal government doesn't change its mind, it would be the second time in 3 years and the third time in 8 years that the county will have to come up with alternative fundings to pay for beach renourishment. We're live in St. Lucie County. John Shaman, WPTV News Channel 5.